Now for the next row, we're going to make another increase round. So the first chain 3 counts as your first double crochet for the round, and you're going to make one more double crochet into the next stitch. So that counts as 1 double crochet into 2 stitches, and then 2 double crochet into the 3rd stitch. And then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the beginning chain 3. I'll make one more set with you. So 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. And then 2 double crochet into the 3rd stitch. And then repeat that pattern all the way around back to the beginning. So you should have finished with 32 stitches in that last round. Now you're going to make a slip stitch into the top stitch of that first chain 3 that you made. So just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and then bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. Then go ahead and chain 3, 1, 2, 3 to get ready for your next round. And as you can see, the chain 3 is over this initial double crochet in the last row, so you don't want to skip this next double crochet. So make your double crochet into the top of that double crochet for the round. That way you'll end up with 32 stitches for this next round as well. So you can see how it's directly over the double crochets. So that's my second. This is my third. So you're going to make 1 double crochet in every stitch around, and if you did it correctly, you'll end up with 32 double crochet for the round. Then, after you finish that round, go ahead and make a slip stitch into the top stitch of that first chain 3. Then you're going to chain 3 again, and again you're going to make 1 double crochet in every stitch around. So you should have 32 double crochet after you finish this round as well. So now again, make a slip stitch into that top stitch of that first chain 3 to finish the round. And for the last round, we're going to make a treble crochet. So you're going to start with a chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is going to count as the first treble crochet for the round. And this is also going to be an increase round. So we're going to be making 1 treble crochet into 3 stitches. This first one will count as my first treble crochet. So yarn over twice, go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop so that you have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through 2 loops, 3 loops remaining, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through 2 loops, 2 loops remaining, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through the 2 remaining loops, and you just completed a treble crochet. So now I have 2 for the round. I'm going to make 2 more, 1 treble crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and actually I have 1 treble crochet into 3, so now in my next stitch I want 2 treble crochet. So for the round it's 1 treble crochet into 3 stitches and then 2 treble crochet into the same stitch, the 4th stitch. So there's 1, and here's my second one. So I'm going to repeat this pattern all the way around. 1 treble crochet into 3 stitches, and then 2 treble crochet into the 4th stitch, and then just repeat that pattern all the way around back to the beginning. So here's my 3rd one, and then I'm going to place 2 treble crochet into the 4th stitch. So you should have finished 40 treble crochet for that round, and then you can go ahead and make a slip stitch into that top stitch of that first chain 4. And then go ahead and finish off, just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to sew it on. Or you can just bury it if you're just making the gingerbread girl with the dress. For the shaker, we're going to start with our deep turquoise color, and you're just going to fold it over on itself to form a loop. Then take your crochet hook, and I'm using my 5.75 millimeter crochet hook. Hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and thumb. Then just yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through the loop for your slip knot. Go ahead and cinch that slip knot down in the loop around your crochet hook. And now we're going to make a chain. So I'm just going to show you 4 of them. Just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, go through the loop for 1 chain, 2, 3, and 4. So you're actually going to start with a chain of 6. So I'm going to go ahead and just make 2 more with you. 5, 6. Then you're going to make a single crochet into the second chain from the hook. So go into the second chain from the hook, bring up a loop, make a single crochet, and then you're going to make a single crochet into every stitch back across. And then come back. So then you just finished 1 row, then chain 1, turn your work, and then make sure you make your single crochet into the next stitch over. And for each row that you complete, you should have a total of 5 stitches. And we're going to make a total of 4 rows. So here's my 3rd. So it gives me a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 1 more stitch left for the row. Completed my 2nd row, so I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, make a single crochet into the next stitch over, and you're going to keep repeating this pattern until you've completed a total of 4 rows of 5 stitches in each row. So I just finished 4 rows. Then you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and this time you're going to make a single crochet into the same stitch. Then make 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in every stitch across except for the last stitch. In the last stitch, you're going to make 2 single crochet into the same stitch. And then that gives you a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches for that row. Then you're going to chain 1, turn your work, make a single crochet into the next stitch, and then just make 1 single crochet in every stitch across, and then that should give you a total of 7 stitches for this row. Then you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and then make a single crochet into the next stitch. Now the rest of the shaker is going to have just 1 single crochet in every stitch and 7 stitches for each row. Go ahead and finish a total of 8 rows of 1 single crochet in every stitch. Then you can go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to bury into your work. Then go ahead and set this aside for now. Then you're going to take your light blue color, and I used my 3.75 millimeter crochet hook. You're going to take and fold the yarn over on itself to form a loop. Take your crochet hook, put it right through the loop, hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and thumb, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through the loop for a slip knot. Then you're going to make another chain. So I'm just going to show you a couple of them. Here's 1, 2. For mine, I made a chain of 7. Then you're going to make a single crochet into the second chain from the hook. Just bring up a loop, make your single crochet, and then you're just going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch back across. Then you're going to go ahead and chain 1, turn your work, and then you're going to make a single crochet into the same stitch. So go into the same stitch, make your second single, actually it counts as your second stitch. That first chain 1 counts as 1, and then you made another single crochet into the same stitch. So that's 2. Make a single crochet into the next stitch, and make 1 single crochet in every stitch across, except for the last stitch. Make 2 single crochet into the last stitch. So you should have finished with 8 stitches for that row. So remember, we started with a chain of 7, but because we made a single crochet into the second chain from the hook, that ended up with 6 stitches for your first row, and since you made 2 single crochet into the last stitch, chain 1 and single crochet into the first stitch, you have a total of 8 stitches for that row. So now the rest of our rows will have 8 stitches total. Go ahead and chain 1, turn your work, and this is our last row. So make a single crochet into the next stitch over, and then 1 single crochet into every stitch back across. Then you can go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to sew the lid onto the shaker. So now you can go ahead and get the shaker, and we're going to bury the loose yarn end on the smaller side. So you can just kind of weave the loose yarn end through and then go ahead and trim it. Then you're going to take the shaker lid. Make sure that you have the wider portion that you're going to sew on to the end. And then you're just going to sew it in place. Make sure that it's lined up like it should be and not crooked. And then just sew it in place. Then just take and bury any loose yarn ends. So now you can set these 3 pieces aside. We're going to make the hands. So you're just going to take the main brown color for the gingerbread, and we're also going to use the 3.75 millimeter crochet hook. Going to start with a magic circle. Just drape the yarn across your 4 fingers. Use your thumb to stabilize. Wrap the yarn around your 2 middle fingers and hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb. Then take your crochet hook. Go ahead and bring up a loop. Then yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through the loop for a slip knot. Then you're going to go back under the magic circle, bring up a loop, make a single crochet, just yarn over, go through both loops for a single crochet. Then you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then this is going to count as your first treble crochet. And you're going to make a total of 12 into the magic circle. So just yarn over twice, go into the magic circle, bring up a loop, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through 2, 3 loops remaining, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through 2, 2 loops remaining, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through those 2. So now I have 2 treble crochet into the magic circle. And again, we're going to make a total of 12. So I'm just going to show a couple of them with you, and then I'll let you finish making the 12. So that's 3. 4. I'll make one more with you. So go ahead, finish making 12, and then come back. So I just finished 12 treble crochet into the magic circle. So now you're just going to take and hold the base of the 12 treble crochet, and then you have those 2 loops on the opposite side. Go ahead and pull on one. If it doesn't close, let go and pull on the other one, but this one's closing. Just gently close it, and then take that loose yarn in and pull on that. And then you're going to turn your work so it's forming a circle. And then you're going to keep it just like this. So it's like kind of like a half circle. Then turn your work, pull on that loose yarn end to close the center, and then you have the hand that's going to be holding the shaker. So now you can go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to sew this onto the shaker. Before we sew the hand onto the shaker, you're going to want to make a chain with your white yarn, which is going to be the icing for the hand. So again, you're going to make your slip knot, and I'm using my 3.75 millimeter crochet hook, and then you're just going to make a chain whatever length you want for the frosting. So this is my 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th chain, and you can kind of see how much you're going to need. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to make mine 10, 9, 10, and then I'm going to go ahead and finish off. And of course you're going to bring enough through so you can sew the icing onto the hand. Then you're going to make sure that you have the right side of the hand facing you. Bring the long end that you left for sewing through, and then take the short end and put it on the opposite side. And then you could form the icing and then just sew it in place. Then after you have the icing sewn in place, you can take and place the hand onto the shaker and then sew it in place. So this is what mine looks like so far. And now you can set this aside. We're going to make the other arm. So you're going to start it the same way. So I have 12 treble crochet into a magic circle, and then you form the half circle. But this time what you're going to do is we're going to work in the space beneath the treble crochet on both sides. So you're going to take and go into that space and bring up a loop, make a single crochet, so that's one. You're going to make 2 more into the same space, 2, 3. Then you're going to make 1 right into the center, so that's 4, and then 3 more on the opposite side, 5, 6, 7. Then go ahead and go into the top stitch for your 8th stitch. So you have 8 stitches across. Then go ahead and chain 1, turn your work, go into the next stitch over and make a single crochet. And then you're just going to make 1 single crochet into each of the stitches, which should give you 8 stitches for the row. So I made 7 rows of 1 single crochet in every stitch across. Then on that last row you're not going to chain 1. You're going to turn your work and then make a single crochet into the next stitch, a single crochet into the second, third, fourth, fifth, and then slip stitch into the 6th stitch, and then go ahead and finish off and bring enough through to sew it onto the gingerbread. And now you're going to make the icing for the tip of the hand just like you did before. So now you can set the second arm aside. We're going to make the feet. So the foot you make the same way that you did the arm, except that I used my 5.75 millimeter crochet hook to make the 12 treble crochet into the magic circle, and you can see the size difference. So just a little bit larger for the foot. And then you're going to put the icing on the same way, except I made a larger chain for the icing. I made a chain of 20 for the foot icing. And this is how it looks after I put the icing on the foot. For the leg portion, I made it the same way as the arm. So I'm going to take and go into the space beneath the treble crochet and make my single crochet. So I'm going to make 3 in this space, so 3 single crochet, and then I'm going to make a single crochet right into the center, so that's 4, and then 3 on the opposite side, 5, 6, 7, and then right into the tip on the end for 8. So then I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and then I'm just going to make one single crochet in every stitch across. This time I'm only going to make a total of 3 rows. So only 3 rows. So I'm not going to count this first one. So it actually will be a total of 4. Or however long you want the bottom leg to be. But for mine, that's going to count as 1. And then I'm going to make 3 more and then finish off. And then you can always take and close the center of the magic circle around your single crochet. So after I chain 1 and turn, I'm going to make my single crochet into the next stitch. And I'm going to finish 3 more rows. And then again, the icing is made the same way. I'm using my 3.75 millimeter hook though, the smaller hook, to chain 20. And this is how the foot looks with the icing in place. Now for the shaker, you're going to want to take your black yarn and you're just going to take and put the holes into the tip of the shaker. So you're just going to go back and forth, just sewing in little spots for the tip of the shaker. So little stitches that show on the front. This is what it looks like on the front of mine, and then on the back. So now you're just going to arrange all of the pieces onto your gingerbread the way that you want it. Then you can take and sew it in place. Just make sure that you use the right yarn color for the one that's on top. So for the shaker, the head sits on top, so I'm sewing it with the brown. And then once I get to the dress, I want to make sure that I'm using the brown color because the head is sitting on top of the dress. So you can see how I'm sewing it in place, and then I'm grabbing both ends of the dress as I sew the head onto the dress. So I sewed the one leg at the bottom of the dress, and then the shaker goes back down. Now you can take and sew the leg onto the bottom of the dress, back of the dress, and fold the top of the dress down on the leg. Take the same colored yarn. If you left a long end on the dress, you could use that, or you can just get the same colored yarn and then just sew the bottom edges of the dress together right over the foot. You don't have to sew the whole bottom of the dress together, just the portion close to the foot and then across the foot. Then you can take and sew the arm in place. I just took mine and sewed it to the front of the dress only. And you finished the girl gingerbread. Now I'm going to show you how to make the cupcake. First I just wanted to show you the back. This is the back of the girl. For the cupcake I'm using my aqua ombre color. And I'm going to start with the chain. So you just take your yarn, fold it over on itself to form a loop. And I'm using my 5.75 millimeter crochet hook. Go right through the loop. Hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and thumb. Yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through the loop for your slip knot. Then go ahead and cinch the loop around your crochet hook and you're going to make a chain. I'm just going to show you 4 of them. Just yarn over and go through the loop for 1, 2, 3, 4. For mine, I started with a chain of 14. So a chain of 14, and then you take your crochet hook and go into the second chain from the hook. Bring up a loop, make your single crochet, and then make 1 single crochet in every stitch back across. After reaching the end, go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. Then you're going to make a single crochet into the next stitch over. So go into the next stitch over, make your single crochet, and then make 1 single crochet in every stitch back across. Then for this next row, you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and then you're going to make a single crochet into the same stitch. One single crochet into the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in every stitch across except for the last stitch. Come back and I'll show you what to do. So in the last stitch, you're going to make 2 single crochet into the last stitch, and that should give you 15 stitches for that row. Then go ahead and chain 1, turn your work, and then you're going to make a single crochet into the next stitch over. And then when you get to the end, go ahead and come back. So I just finished 14 stitches and I have 1 stitch left. Sometimes it's hard to see it, that first chain 1 that you did. So you're just going to go right into, don't forget that last stitch, to make a total of 15 stitches for the row. Then you can go ahead and chain 1, turn your work, and then you're going to go into the next stitch over because we still want 15 stitches for this row. So go ahead, finish 1 single crochet in every stitch back across. So now you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and this time you're going to make 1 single crochet into the same stitch because we want to increase the number of stitches for the row. Then you're going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch except the last stitch again. You're going to make 2 single crochet into that last stitch, and then that should bring our stitch count to 17. Then again, you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and then you're going to make 1 single crochet into the next stitch over, and then every stitch 1 single crochet all the way back across. Then chain 1, turn your work, and then make 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in every stitch across, and do this for 2 more rows. So 2 more rows of just 1 single crochet in every stitch, and these rows should have 17 stitches in each of them. So 2 rows. So now you're just going to chain 1, turn your work, and then you're going to make 1 single crochet into the same stitch to increase the number of stitches for the row, and then make 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and every stitch across except for the last stitch, make 2 single crochet into the same stitch again, and that should bring your stitch count to 19. You can see how you're gradually making an angle on each side for your cupcake. Now you can go ahead, after you finish that row, go ahead and chain 1, turn your work, and this time you're going to go into the next stitch over. So you're only going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch back across, so you should still only have 19 total stitches, and again you're going to make 2 more rows of just 1 single crochet in every stitch. Then we're going to increase the stitch count again for the row. So chain 1, make a single crochet into the same stitch, and then 1 single crochet in each stitch across except for the last stitch. Make 2 single crochet, and that should bring your stitch count to 21. Then chain 1 and make 1 single crochet into the next stitch, just like you did before. 2 more rows of just 1 single crochet in every stitch. Then you can go ahead and just finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through just to bury into your work. You're going to need 2 of these. So after you have the 2 pieces for the bottom of the cupcake, you can set one of them aside. We're going to make the face for the cupcake. The cheeks are made the same way as for the gingerbread. You just make a magic circle with 6 single crochet with the pink yarn. I use my clear bead cord to sew the eyes on. Then you can take and just sew the eyes in place. Position the black portion on the white portion the way that you want it. And then just sew and secure the eyes. If you want to place really hot items on your hot pad, then you can use a regular sewing needle and thread if you want to secure the eyes onto the cupcake. Then you can take and just sew your cheeks on. You can see where I placed my cheeks. Then you make the smile the same way that you did for the gingerbread. So I'm just going to go up a stitch for the cheek, make a little V towards the cheek, and then make my smile across and make the same thing on the opposite side. I make sure that they're both equal, and then I can make the bottom part of the smile. And then tie a knot on the back. The nose is the same as the gingerbread too. Just took my pink yarn, doubled it up, and then just place about where you want your nose. And then go over a couple of stitches. And then tie a knot on the back and then go one more time. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. So I'm going to tie a knot in the back. And then I'm going to take and go one more time. And then just tie another knot. Then you can take and sew the front piece to the back piece. You just take your tapestry needle and just go in and out all around the edge, just sewing it in place. And this is what it looks like after finishing the back onto the front. To make the icing, I'm going to be using both of my crochet hooks. For the larger topping, I'll use the 5.75 millimeter, and then the smaller ones, I'll use the 3.75 millimeter. I'm going to show you one of them with my 5.75 millimeter crochet hook. We're going to start with the magic circle, so drape the yarn across your 4 fingers, use your thumb to stabilize, and then wrap the yarn around your 2 middle fingers. Hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb. I'm making the large icing droplet, so I'm using my 5.75 millimeter. I'm just going to bring up a loop, and then yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through that loop for a slip knot. Then you're going to go right back through the magic circle and bring up a loop. Make a single crochet and then chain 3. 1, 2, 3. That counts as your first treble crochet in the magic circle, and you're going to make a total of 12. So yarn over twice, go into the magic circle, bring up a loop, make your treble crochet, And then you're going to make a total of 12 treble crochet into the magic circle, and then come back. After you finish your 12 treble crochet into the magic circle, you're just going to take and hold the base of the 12 treble crochet and then close it up. If it doesn't close, let go and pull on the other loop, but this one's closing. Then take and pull on that loose yarn end. And this time we're going to join. So you're going to take and make a slip stitch into the top stitch of the first chain that you made into the magic circle, the top of that chain. You can see how I slip stitched it closed into a circle. Then you're going to chain one, and you're going to make one single crochet into the next 4 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to chain 1, turn your work, make one single crochet into the next 3 stitches. Then you're going to turn your work, one single crochet into the next 3 stitches, turn your work, one single crochet into the next 2 stitches, turn your work, single crochet into the next stitch, and then go ahead and chain 1 and finish off. And then that's how you make your icing droplet. Then you're going to have fun with whatever colors that you want, and you make as many of the different icings that you want. I made 4 small ones. So far I have 1 large one. And then all you're going to do, I've already made some light green sprinkles. You just take whatever next color that you want for your sprinkles, go from the wrong side up to the right side. Make sure you leave enough of a loose yarn end on the back for tying a knot, and then you just go about a stitch over. And you create little sprinkles. So I'm just going to make a couple sprinkles with this color on each one. And then when you're done with the sprinkles, I'll make one more. Then you can take and tie a knot with the finished color. And then add as many sprinkles as you want on yours. So first you're going to place the sprinkles, and then I have the 4 large ones. After I place the sprinkles, I'm going to sew them in place onto the head of the cupcake, and then I have the 4 smaller ones that I'm going to arrange. So it'll look something like this when you're finished putting the sprinkles. For the other gingerbread head, I used 4 of the large icing drops. So now you can start sewing the icing onto the cupcake head. I sewed one of the large ones on the corner first. Then I took one of the large ones and sewed it on the opposite side. Then you can take one of the large ones and sew them in the center, and then I sewed the 2 ends together on the side of the large icicles to keep them together. So you can see how I put the 3rd one, sewed it all the way up the top, and then I left the tip of the icing top. The point is free on all 3. Then I'm just going to take the same colored yarn and bring it down so that the tip is free on the last icing droplet and then just sew down the side so that all 4 sides are together. Then you can take the small ones and place them behind the large ones and arrange them how you want and sew those in place. This is what mine looks like after sewing the pieces together. And then I'm just going to add a few more sprinkles to the center. So I added more sprinkles and I decided to add a little pink to mine, and this is how it's looking so far. And then I just took my felt to cover the back and then used my tapestry needle with the white colored yarn and then sewed that in place. Then you can take your smaller scissors and take and trim all around the felt. And then you can't see it as a backing. And then I would recommend a solid piece. I had 2 pieces that I just put together and it still looks good. And then if you want, the 2 pieces can go together.